Hi, my name is Uchenna Kelly, and I'm with the cross country captains. And I'm here with Gabe Wiggatow, Jack Morelli, and Colin McLaughlin.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you guys too. So, Gabe, when you're thinking of yourself as a freshman and you're just starting cross country, and now you're looking at yourself as a senior, what has changed about you the most?
I think my mindset a lot. Like, I actually started in my sophomore year. So, like, starting off just, like, that far behind everyone else because I was brand new to running. Like, I feel like I've just had to develop a lot and change from thinking, like, oh, like, I'm not, like, one of the best runners on the team to thinking, like I need to, like, run well because I have, like, that responsibility and I have to help my team win.
So you definitely think it was, like, a mentality type?
Yeah. Yeah, I think mindset is just so important in running in general. And just, like, always thinking about the team whenever you're competing.
Yeah, I mean, just to go off that, like, me and Colin were on the same team freshman year, and we know how it was, like, running as a group. For the last 4 years, we've been with the same guys, and just, like, the bonding, like, it just really helps us come together, like, real close, you know? And that eventually, like, that just helps us run better.
Nice. So you guys would say, like, when you're a freshman, like, you know, you have to feel that connection, like, early on, because, like, you guys can, like, help each other get better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. I mean, like, the same guys we were running with freshmen, like, now we're just at a different level competing for, like, bigger things instead of, like, a freshman league championship. Now we're competing for a state championship and returning to nationals. Like, it's just on a larger scale. We still work hard, and that's, like, all the success comes from working hard, I think.
Yeah.
And I really think freshman year, it was more like try to win leagues and you know, try and get the intersectional win. But since last year when we made it to nationals, I think it really opened up our eyes on how good a lot of other people are and how much better we could get. And I think that really just opened doors for us to, you know, like, not put any limits on ourselves. And I think that's what mainly, like, changed from all the way back then until now.
Yeah, and one more thing, like, also our freshman year we had a lot of COVID restrictions.
Yeah.
So we didn't really get to see the levels that people can get. Like we thought we were fairly good, and in reality, like, we could have been much better.
Yeah.
So I think that just kind of, like, jump started all our training since sophomore year on. So yeah, I think now we're at a pretty good place.
Well, that's really interesting. Like, with all you guys have learned now, you're being seniors. Do you feel like it's been a big responsibility stepping up and trying to lead your team as, like, all those fellow sophomores and freshmen, like, trying to, like, being in the same place you guys were?
Oh yeah, totally. Like, we, of course, when we were younger, we had leaders of our team. Like, a lot of the kids who graduated last year really guided us to the runners we are now. Like, we really got that team atmosphere from them, and we learned how to work hard from them. I think I can credit them to that. And they set a really good example, and, like, I think what we're trying to do now is set a good example for the rest of our team so they can basically share the same experience as we do.
What would you guys say, like, the challenging part is, like, being, like, as well, like, you guys are all teenagers, like, what would you say the hardest part of being, like, a leader is?
I would say, like, the peer aspect part of it, like, some of the, like, they're all your friends, so, like, they may not listen to you all the time.
Yeah.
So I think just that, you really gotta, like, there's times to be serious and there's times to, like, you could have fun. But I think just the differences in those times and knowing when to be serious and when to, like have a good time has to be clear.
Well, yeah. I mean, I totally understand that. Like, we're all trying to, like, have fun, but, like, we have to understand, like, the right time to, like, be serious and, like, get the workout done, get your reps in.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So, like, we know St. Anthony's cross country, like, program has been successful for year after year. What have you guys, like, learned about being a part of, like, that championship type team, like, the expectations that comes with it?
I think you're always just trying to, like, live up to what, like, people have done in our history, and, like, that just gives you motivation knowing, like people who came before you have accomplished great things, and that means, like, you can do it because you're doing the same training and stuff as them.
Does it ever, like, become nerve-wracking knowing that, like, you have to, like win, like, in that sort of way, like, oh, like, we have to be first for St. Anthony's?
Well, I mean, I think just looking back on all the other guys who have came before us, it's almost exciting to be, like, just like in the same group as them. And I think we
Yeah.
can agree, like it's cool to say like all these guys we look towards and like think they're like great runners. They go on to do great things in college, and we're following the same lineup with them. I think just we get really excited about that. But I mean, of course, there's a nerve factor in it all, but
Yeah.
I think the positives outweigh the negatives.
And so, with all of that being included, you know, there's obviously the workouts. That's what you have to get to be able to perform. What would you say like the most challenging workout that your coach Jerry has ever given you guys? Okay, why don't you start?
I don't know. Maybe like we had a really tough workout last week. I don't know if it's the hardest we've ever done, but 4 by mile, just like really hard. Or like maybe some of the workouts we've done over the summer, just like 30-35 minute tempo, where it's like really mental. Like you don't get any break, and you just like you got to stay mentally locked in for the entire time.
So like with the tempo, like you like does that mean like you can't stop running?
Yeah, you're running at like a hard pace for like a really long period of time. So like there's no break, there's nothing to like look forward to. You just have to keep going and like make sure that you're mentally in it and don't like fall off the pace at all.
Wow, that does sound very challenging. I do not think I could be a cross country runner.
Yeah, I agree with Gabe on that. I think like a 35-minute tempo, especially like on your own, is very mentally tough. At least with your like when you're in a group, you're with your team, and it makes it a little bit easier because you got guys with you. But I think solo, just on your own, doing like the summer workouts, is definitely the toughest thing we do.
I agree with that being the hardest mental workout is definitely tempos. But physically, I feel like the hardest workouts are either the really fast, like 200 repeats, or fast. I know we did one a few weeks ago. We did, it was like cut down 800, so each one was faster than the last, and the last rep of that one was like a killer.
So like how many reps of like 200s would you guys do like if like that was a workout that you had to do that day?
I mean, in cross country, we don't do too many 200s. But during outdoor, I know I did one where I think we did like 12 200s, and they were all at like basically race pace or faster for an 800, and with like very little rest, like 30 seconds rest, and that just like it makes you feel like your legs can't even do anything.
No, I get that. And with the cut down 800s, like how many times do you have to do that?
I think we did 5.
Yeah,
5?
five.
Yeah.
So yeah.
How much faster did they get it?
We went from like I think 225, and we cut down a few seconds each time. And then what was the last one?
Like 210.
210.
Last,
Yeah, it was a tough one.
But do you guys like find those workouts beneficial? Like in the end, do you feel like it contributes to like your running? In the
Yeah,
race?
100%.
And also just the mental part of having known that you've like had such a good workout like that, I think definitely helps when it comes to racing. When you know, like when you just have to think back on like how fit you are and what you've done before, like all the workout and all the training that has led up to this point, that just gives confidence, you know?
Yeah.
And especially in races, if you work out with your teammates and you're sticking with your teammate in the workout, then that makes you think that you can stick with them in the race. So I think doing workouts together really lets us race together as well, and that's really what we need for cross country. We need to be a tight group.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you would say like the bond is probably one of the most important aspects of like being a team.
Definitely, because like it'd be way harder, I think, just doing it solo. Like if we were just at a different school, just on our own, without like guys just as good as you, I think it'd be much harder. But since we like every day we push each other, you know.
Yeah.
So I think that's what another thing we can credit to being successful.
So like you guys have been all been running together for like 3 years. Now you're like your seniors and about to graduate. What part of high school like sports are you gonna miss the most?
I think on the high school level, you like for our team especially, because we get to go to regionals and nationals and all that stuff, and in college it's like especially when you first get into college, I've heard from my teammates that have graduated already, they say that it's like a lot less people know who you are in college because it's a lot harder to be at the top. So I think I'm gonna miss the aspect of like getting all these big awards for finishing and high places and very high level meets. I mean, hopefully I'll get there in college, but it'll be harder to do that.
Yeah, I think there's something simple about like high school cross country, you know, like there's so many people who do it in the United States, and just to see like the good runners rise to the top almost, and those good runners end up running in college, and then all those college athletes were good in high school.
Yeah.
So it becomes a watered down group of kids that are all very good.
Yeah.
So I think it's just something simple about it.
Yeah.
So what are you guys most excited about, like, about going to that next level or trying to get to that next level?
I think new competition is definitely a big thing. Like, I mean, I love my team, but having a new team is another new challenge we get to have. New guys to run with and train with, and a new coach too. So I think it's just a new journey. So
Definitely.
I'm like looking forward to just being completely surrounded by people who are just like 100% in on the sport, like on your team, competing against, like, in order to get to that level, like you have to really care a lot. So to just be around people who are like that, I think is something I'm looking forward to a lot.
Like all in 100%.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for being here.
No problem.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Of course.